Okay, so there have been talks of sequels for the Batman, and Robert Pattinson had a interesting discussion where he talked about one of the major villains that he would like his Batman to face next is the Court of Owls. On the complete opposite side of that, Matt Reeves was talking about how he would like to introduce not only other villains but also Robin. Here is how we can bring both of those two things together. So, in the comic books, the Court of Owls is essentially a international group conglomerate based in Gotham, where they control certain aspects of the Gotham underground and also the world's underground to benefit them. Now, one of the reasons why the Court of Owls was so dangerous was because Bruce Wayne slash Batman had no idea that they existed. He believed in the legend of the Court of Owls when he was a child, but he never discovered anything in regards to the Court of Owls. As a result, he treated it as a rumor, as like this urban legend in Gotham which doesn't exist. It wasn't until he became Batman and he began actively investigating the Court of Owls that he started to discover that there were certain things in Gotham that just didn't make sense. And the deeper and deeper he dived into it, the more and more he discovered essentially the court. Now, for Matt Reeves and the fact that he likes to make his movies have a plot that you can follow from beginning until end with a lot of character development, it would be fantastic if essentially if they were doing a Batman sequel, it would be an easy way to both introduce the Court of Owls and also introduce Dick Grayson. Now, the Court of Owls operates with assassins known as Talons. What they could do, because this is exactly from the comic books, basically the court would go out, they would find families with either certain proclivities or certain abilities, physically, mentally, families who were hitmen, assassins, and they would mark the children. It would be a molar on their back tooth that would inject their bodies with, I think it was Dionysium. I want to say it was Dionysium, but Dionysium was the last pure form of what the court was using to bring their talons essentially back from the dead. And then they would kidnap those children and then they would train those children into talons, then take them and put them on ice. And then if there were any type of special missions they had to send the talons on, they would unfreeze them and then send that talon on a mission. Dick Grayson was one of these kids. He was marked by the court as someone who was supposed to essentially become a Talon and serve the court in the future. An interesting way that you could introduce the Court of Owls in a future movie would essentially be that the Graysons were killed by the court. The Graysons were killed by the court, and Dick Grayson disappeared. And Batman essentially goes on a mission where he starts basically tearing Gotham apart, looking for Dick Grayson or hints of Dick Grayson, which brings them into conflict with the court. Now, of course, you're going to have the typical back and forth between Batman and the court as they're attempting to one up each other. But at the end of the movie, Batman basically beats the Court of Owls and he takes Dick Grayson on as his Robin, as his protege. That'd be the easiest way to both introduce both the Court of Owls, have them be defeated, and then also introduce Dick Grayson as a Robin for future Batman movies. Now, of course, Matt Reeves has talked about introducing a lot of other villains as well. Of course, we have Barry Cogan as the Joker. I'm really not interested in a Joker movie happening so soon. If anything, I'd much prefer if the Joker was essentially a threat in the background that would pop up here and there, but he wasn't the main antagonist. And then when you reach the third Batman movie, that's when you can introduce the Joker and him and the Joker have like their big clash. We don't really have to jump into the Joker yet. I feel as though there are some fantastic other villains that can be introduced into the world before we get to the point where the Joker essentially is the main villain. Like, for instance, that'd be fantastic if the very next villain they run into is Scarecrow or Two-Face. So many great Batman villains to pull from before I feel as though we really need to activate the Joker card. But yeah, if I was going to be doing a Court of Owls slash Robin, Dick Grayson movie, this is exactly how I would do it. I would introduce the Court of Owls. I would have Dick Grayson be the main subject of Batman's investigation, which leads him into conflict with the court. And then I would have that conflict essentially resolve, leading to both Batman and Robin operating in Gotham together. But if there is a villain you would like to see, essentially future Batman movies follow, or if you also are digging the court and you also want to see Dick Grayson show up in the DCEU, I almost call it the MCU, at some point in time, comment down below, let me know, and I will catch you in the next one.